I'm not supposed to have candy.
So yeah, this is from the creator of regular show. You can totally tell from the just insane escalation from just a normal situation or, like plausible to just utter insanity, like almost being eviscerated by your air conditioner. A lot of similarities between this and regular show. In fact, my favorite anecdote that I saw on the interwebs was it's people were sort of upset that regular show was over, which I really don't get. I didn't care for the last couple seasons. It just got, I don't know, weird, even weirder than usual. But getting back to the point, it's like people were like, this isn't regular show, but it's close enough. So yeah, this is like something that could happen in regular show, and I think has happened. This just seems a lot creepier, but I think they could do it in regular show. And this is weird, where this is like a regular show occurrence where it's just like the mannequins come to life. A la Mannequin. Or Mannequin 2, the world tour. So it's a magic hat that allows her to go move at super speed and accomplish a lot of stuff. But at the same time, it ages you and turns you old. Again, what a fantastic metaphor for missing out on your kid's childhood. Very Man in the Moonish. They've showed guns and they've showed people just kind of exploding. Well, there was that sea turtle episode where they all get just kind of annihilated on the beach, but that was like more comedic. But even then, like, regular show was more or less like aimed towards older, like, teenagers. There's the infamous "You pissed me off."
You pissed me off.
Very early in the show's run. That sort of dropped my jaw a little bit there. Don't think they could do that in regular show.
Shit.
And now, wait, I know this was on Hulu or something, but is this also on TBS where you can show someone flipping the finger? Obviously, Close Enough is meant to reference sort of the struggles of these two new parents as they try to adjust to life with a new child and trying to raise her, balance a budget, try to nourish their own careers, and they get close enough. Like I said, I think this is the scene that sort of sold the show for a lot of people, in that it's just shows this younger couple getting used to a new sort of domestic life of responsibilities in just, in a most bombastic, modern way possible.
Kid-free night.
This episode's also very good at just depicting how, you can't keep up with your younger self. Like, I used to be able to stay up until like 1 a.m. drawing, and then that burns me out too much now. Like, when I really wanted to get a project done, I would like pull all-nighters like crazy. And now it's just like, nope, if you do that, you're gonna die.
Holy crap! What the hell was that? Dude thought he could cruise in here over the age of 30 and not get executed? SMH, bruh.
The whole series is basically, oh no, things have changed. This one's a big thing for me. It's like, I remember going to like comic book stores. Now I at the mall, I was just there, like, it was just, I guess it was like a pop-up store. And it was just nothing but Funko Pops and pins, and they had like some trading cards, like behind the counter. I don't know if it was just like they rented the spot for like a month to like move all this merchandise, but it was just like an entire wall of nothing but Funko Pops. And I sort of felt the way that Josh felt right now, with just kind of going in and like missing like a grungy like comic book store atmosphere, and it basically becoming so sterile.
Dad, why did you take me to the Apple store?
That woman looks like a Gravity Falls character. Good theme song. Of course, the opening, I think it was animated by James Baxter. Of course it was. James has to put his lay his golden fingers on just about everything now, from Gravity Falls to Steven Universe to whatever. And it's weird seeing the Cartoon Network logo there. But I guess it is. It was released on HBO Max, but it's still a Cartoon Network cartoon.
Oh, orgasm? Get off from what?
For the longest time, I was trying to figure out who's this voice. Where did I hear it from before? And I mean, he's in a lot of things. He's a writer. He's a podcaster. Well, I know him from How Did This Get Made? A comedic podcast about just the history of bizarre B movies. Well, not even B movies, just like weird movie projects.
I remember Blockbuster Video. I am old.
Yeah, you see, this is a little bit... First of all, this is sort of where Alex won me over. I thought he was just going to be kind of like a weird loser. But the fact that he's sort of making sure that his two friends who are parents, who needs to go and take care of Candace. So yeah, that's turned around. There was, like I said, there's a point in the regular show where it was like, or very early on, it's like, oh, I don't like any of these characters. I'm like, the only one I can really relate to is Mordecai, which may have been a red flag at the time. But eventually each one sort of won me over because they, despite their quirks, they've all got heart to them. Even Bridget sort of gets points early on for being cool here. Bridget, I was a little lukewarm towards. Just I didn't really get what her deal was. It's more or less seems like she was meant to be like second girl. At first, I thought Bridget was voiced by the same voice actress who does Marcy Wu and Aaliyah from Arlo the Alligator Boy. But I looked it up, and they're different. They're definitely different. So, like I was saying, Bridget is sort of here to be the eyes of just like someone who's just like a little bit younger, like within the same generation, but just like within the younger part of that generation, you know, just someone who's dealing with people that are starting to move on with certain parts of their lives, getting kids, getting, you know, responsibilities and such. So she's a very necessary part of the show. I don't care for her in these earlier episodes, mainly because of this episode. Kind of comes off as more self-centered and like really, how can I put this? A self-centered trend chaser who is frankly a little bit creepy by the end of this episode. I don't know really what she wants to do. Like, she's, I guess, an artist. She wants to, like, write parody songs, and she also cosplays. Like, for Halloween, she was she dressed up like she just like Jubilee from X-Men. I might actually be in love. This is sort of where I had a turning point with Bridget, where it's like, okay, I kind of sort of sympathize with her. Sort of Bridget being kicked off of her family's fortune, and her having to also deal with figuring out how to work.
I got your TVs.
Josh, get out of here!
Also, good for Bridget. I like how it was, Josh, get out of here. You're in danger. Not, Josh, help me. Josh seems to be like a combination of both Rigby and Mordecai, in both strengths and weaknesses. He loves his family, he's very intensely loyal, but he has very, very childish whims. And at times, below standard intelligence.
Comic Sans? I mean, an address?
At least when he's stupid, I was going to say, he has one advantage. He's not a jerk ass like Homer. Like, Homer got stupider and stupider, but he also got, like, meaner and meaner for the sake of the plot. I think this might be the most relatable Josh episode in the first season, because he thinks he sells a game for like a ridiculous amount of money. Unfortunately, the deal falls through and he's still poor, but his, Emily and Candace still think they're rich. And Josh works his butt off trying to keep up the facade. Also, this is dumb. This is just dumb. A dumb thing for him to do. Going out and spending all this money don't do this until the money's in the bank. Yeah, that's the face. That's the face you make when you're like, everything's fine. And of course, this is probably the best scene that depicts Josh, what he'll go through for his family. And it's very sweet, as much as is both epic, like what he just and hilariously painful. And Candace is a wonderful little maniac. God, Candace is adorable. She's easily my favorite character. It's very unfortunate she basically resembles a miniature muscle man. Oh, this episode's very important in that it shows Josh and Candace like bonding. I think gosh, this might be the first episode in the series this season like that. Usually Candace has been sort of underrepresented so far. In self-esteem. This is probably the joke that sold the series for me. My Easter-Rock t-shirt. There's not many, I guess this is the best accomplishment Candace has done this season. I mean, she usually just kind of is more of a component of episodes rather than actually one being totally focused on her. I'm trying to think. What's the other ones this season? I mean, she learns to skateboard. She learns to... Her mother stands up for her when she's arm wrestling. There isn't a lot of Candace-focused ones. I guess this is the one. Emily is, I guess she's adorable. She's like if Elaine was in a human body, she's Elaine's human persona, with a little bit of CJ mixed in there. I find it interesting how she's a musician, or at least tries to be. Later in the season, she's, both her and Bridget, I guess, are comedic songwriters. Bridget, I guess, is an artist, quote unquote.
Josh, that board is $100. Well, this
I like how it's, okay, you know what? I like how it wasn't, oh my gosh, it's all the devils and stuff. It's like, oh no, it's just $100. There we go. Okay, so if I had to have one complaint about this season, I would say there's way too many episodes focusing on Josh sort of trying to recapture his not childhood, his teenage and college years. On contrast, we see here that Emily is trying to figure out where she fits in with all the other moms. Again, she's very in the moment, sort of down to earth, which is why she's a good fit for Josh. Here, I think this episode is dedicated to her trying to figure out her parenting style. And then obviously running in with a possible bad influence. I hate this guy. He has one good joke.
Bitch, use your words.
And then, of course, we have another set of characters. The landlord, who is a retired police officer. Just an older woman, and I guess her adoptive son. It's kind of like the muscle man of this series. I don't know, I thought he was going to be a weird dork or something who was trying to be cool, but he's like really insecure about his mother and worried about her because she used to be a cop, and a black cop, so black female cop, so like either she was super corrupt or super tough as nails. I'm going to go with the latter.
You under arrest for being racist.
Wait, you have the keys, right?
Also, this woman is voiced by Cheryl from Archer, which I just realized that. I didn't realize it until she got mean. Yeah, see, you can hear her now. A lot of great guest spots on this series. That's Doc Hammer from the Venture Brothers. I guess he's just lending his voice for a little bit here. Was he ever, was he ever in regular show? Yeah, here's that weird, David Hasselhoff. Again, he's weirdly overly detailed. I don't like that. And he's like really mean here. I guess this is just sort of self-deprecating humor on his part, which good for him. It's not helping that this guy is the voice of Jerry and Cyril. Yep, this is Weird Al performing himself. Even in this, he's wholesome as hell.
I always just try to be true to myself. And after that, I sharpen a narwhal tusk, puncture the heel of my left foot, and use the blood to summon the demon song god Nishquantazi.
This threw me. This guy is this snail is voiced by Vince Noir. Actually, no, that's not his name. It's Noel Felding from The Mighty Boosh. Does a lot of voice work now. He was in Disenchanted. Is there some sort of weird connection between a regular show and The Mighty Boosh? Because you have this guy, and then you have Rich Fulcher, the Bob Fossil. You know, the I Don't Like Cricket dancing guy. He was the voice of, I think he did several voices for a regular show. He was a tape recorder, I know that.
I say I don't like cricket. And that's why I don't like cricket.
This is the episode where they make the decision whether or not they should be having a second child. A little weird how there was no option just to have a procedure done, an abortion. That was off the table for some reason. This episode's weird. They seem to be going out of their way to show that vasectomies aren't as, reversible. This clinic is clearly not on the up and up. So I thought it would be like, oh, is this going to be like a critique of all those clinics that say, oh, we'll help you manage what your baby, if you're pregnant, we'll come and we'll lay out the situation to you and what all your options are. But it turns out it's like it's just a front for a Christian organization that will just lie to your face about what you can actually do. Turns out, no, this is just some sort of weird clinic where they just want to destroy your balls. I don't know what the actual message is. Alex already has a vasectomy, and he's just like, oh, okay, I'm free to do whatever I want. And then by the end of this episode, he's like, oh, man, I actually want kids and want to get that reversed. And he's free to do so. Which is weird. He said he went to this clinic before, but now, I guess, wait, if he had the same procedure done, I guess it is a non-reversible. Did he not know that going in? Or maybe he had it done at a different clinic. Hold on a second.
Before the old vasectomy, I'd make a lot of deposits here.
Maybe we shouldn't have the type of friendship where you tell me everything.
So he just made sperm deposits, but he didn't have his vasectomy here, or did he? I don't know. Again, I think this is the weakest episode. So by the end of this episode, he doesn't get a vasectomy. But do they not, or do they? They don't do anything. No. This episode was not fun. It was interesting in that it was confusingly bad. If there's one thing I have to say, is that sometimes these stories can seem a bit abrupt. They're broken up into 15-minute segments. And I don't know what that is. Either that's just the production style coming over from regular show, or from, I don't know if that's the plan or if that's just a holdover from what they did over on regular show. Also, wait, I'm sorry. Is there magic now? I guess there is. In this episode, I think it shows the weakness of it all. In the arm wrestling one, I was like, okay, it's pretty strong. We get the idea. Candace is being sort of forced to participate in things she doesn't want because her mother wants to impress certain people. And it gets in and gets out. Here, I'd say that there doesn't seem to be an A plot. There seems to be two B plots. Josh trying to reconnect and finish his old game because he's had his 17th midlife crisis at this point in the series. And then Alex, which I think should have been the A plot, he's trying to figure out a way to impress his students. it doesn't feel like there's an A story that's being flushed out properly. It feels like there's two B stories going on simultaneously. It feels a little flat. Like, this is, like, we don't even know who Dude Man is. Like, he doesn't have, like a beautiful mind conversation with Josh or anything like that. I think this is, like, maybe his third scene in the whole episode. So, I think the final episode's where it's, ooh, I like that girl's hair. Ooh. And I guess this is the season finale, which is Canine Dude. And so this woman is genetically engineering people to star in, like, Air Bud movies. Or animals. This episode is more about friendship and how things change. Josh and Alex are clearly going through an issue where their little annual tradition of going to this sort of restaurant is not appealing to Alex anymore. But Josh is super into it. And also we got the parallels between Emily and Bridget, who are also trying to figure out where their lives is going in terms of their friendship.
Look how cute Candace is being.
And I like how the two these two plots merge. And again, I think, like, this is the best example of mixing the two stories. Although, like I said, this is actually a double length, so it more or less just supports my theory that if these were, like, 30-minute episodes, they would be good. Actually, I've only seen clips of the recent ones. Have they switched over to making them regular length, or I don't know. I gotta look into that. Because this is definitely, like, the strongest of the season. And I think that's because they gave time to flush everything out. And also, this is like a good capper because it actually shows Josh's and Alex's friendship. We always get hints of it, like how Alex is, like, weirdly close to the family because he doesn't have one of his own.
I also love our family.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like their first sort of hiccup. It puts their friendship to the test and makes you feel, makes it feel a little bit specialer.
Sometimes old friends say stuff no one else gets.
But they're really weird, right?
So weird.